Welcome to Everything House Music and More, and today's special guest can say is the icon, the statuesque, Mr. Dave Risqué. Dave, what's going on, brother?
Oh, a lot's going on. A lot is going on, Maurice.
Okay, that's good.
I am so honored to be here. I'm humbled by this, to be on your show, to be interviewed by Grammy winning. I believe you won the first Grammy in the house community. Is that?
No, it was Frankie's first.
You second?
Yeah, David Morales, and then I came after that.
Hey, come on, man.
So I'm in good presence, good company,
yes,
man.
you are. Yes, you are.
But I appreciate this. No, we wanted to do this for a while back, man. But I'm just, I'm blessed and honored to have you right now for this. So you ready to get into it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do it. So, Dave, you are the walking embodiment of house culture, and you're at the beginning of the history. How did disco find you, and in what year?
Oh, wow. Disco, I would have to say, if you want to say that in the purest form before disco became commercialized, I would say Sammy Davis Jr. in 1974.
Really?
Yeah. My dad was his bodyguard, and he was at the Mill Run Theater.
Okay.
I believe I was, because 1974, I was born in 1961, so I was 13 years old.
Right.
Somewhere around that 12, 13. But my dad always wanted me to be dressed sharp, so I was in a Pierre Cardin. I was going to bring the picture. That's a real picture. There ain't no Photoshop.
Okay.
And so I'm at the Mill Run Theater backstage. I don't know who to select. I mean, I'm just hanging out, so it could have been it. But I have a picture with his wife, Adolphus Davis.
Right.
So anyway, that to see Sammy performing at the Mill Run,
yes,
and that's 1974. I got a taste of Hollywood, and well, actually, a taste of a legend.
Yeah.
I mean, Sammy started when he was 5 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got touched by him. Before then, it was Jackie Wilson.
Okay.
And that was at the Now, mind you, I'm 6 years old.
Right.
And women are screaming. I'm like, I thought the place was on fire.
Yeah.
But they were screaming because Jackie Wilson was on stage performing, and I got a chance to be backstage with him.
Right.
And have a picture with him in the dressing room. My mother has this at my mom's house.
Wow.
So I got blessed by those two legends.
Yes.
Okay? And so really, I would say for me, the 70s with the jazz fusion, and I have rock music is in my roots.
Okay.
Because rock music is our roots.
Right.
So really, I would say 1974.
Okay. Yeah. What was your upbringing, and how do you think that shaped you culturally?
Oh, wow. Well, my mother... I showed a picture of my mother to an African, and he said my mother was white, right?
Right.
So, not knowing the fact that my mother's, Aboriginal. But anyway, my mother was traveling with me at 2 years old.
Yes.
On Santa Fe, just me and her, back in the 60s.
Right.
We never sat in the back of the train.
Wow.
I never witnessed any racial, injustice that we have done.
Okay.
My mother's got pictures white people are taking time out because it was just me and my mom to take a picture. My mom has me on her lap.
Right.
I'm 3, and she's holding me like this,
right,
and somebody's taking a picture. This is like somewhere in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
But she was really fair skinned though too, correct?
My mother, she's very fair.
Yeah,
she could pass. A lot of people say that your mother probably was so exotic that they just
passed.
Just
like
passed
that movie they did, like Pass. Yeah.
She got the pass.
Wow. That's just, man.
And we slept, look, we didn't sleep in the back. We slept in a regular car.
Wow. Okay.
They didn't put us in the back in a bus.
Right. And that was the upbringing that you became cultural.
And also my grandmother, they grew up in Bronzeville.
Okay.
My grandmother was born in 1911. She survived the Great Depression.
Right.
My mother was born here in Chicago, Providence Hospital.
Okay.
I believe Providence. It might have been another hospital. But anyway, in 1935, so I grew up in Bronxville. So I grew up in Bronxville.
Okay.
I have a lot of roots in Bronxville.
Right. Okay. Good.
And a lot of people think, I'm Hyde Park, which I do. I have a lot of roots in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
My dad was in South Shore.
Right.
So I had family, and I got all these, extended family.
Correct.
That's all over. So I lived on the west side on Holman. But really, My mother was a socialite. And I would say that my DNA. My dad was security.
Okay.
My mother was orchestrating and putting things together. She was a den mother.
Right.
And then she would always organize like the Christmas parties,
Okay.
the New Year's parties.
Yeah.
And so I used to sit back and see my mom. She would put on wigs, and this would be glamorous shit, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's coming over, and everybody's dancing, and I'm the only young person there.
Right.
And my grandmother's jamming, right?
Yeah.
So for me, house party meant home.
Yeah.
I grew up on WLS and BON.
Okay.
And so don't get it twisted. I definitely witnessed a racial hatred in the city.
Yeah.
But in terms of growing up, went to Walt Disney twice.
Yeah. So what specific records come to mind during this time right now?
74?
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder.
Right.
I mean, really, Earth, Wind, and Fire was huge.
Okay. So how did you get into promoting?
Well, I started out as a DJ. I was with a DJ organization called the Risqué. Well, Reggie was down there, sticking up my.
Hold on. Let's pause right there for a second.
Okay.
Pause right there. Let me cut this.
We combined. It was Rare Pleasure, and I don't get upset at me, Rory, but it became Rare Sounds of Space.
Okay.
And Vincent Sparks was our manager.
Okay.
There was Sparks Record Store, and they had Sparks Club in Hyde Park.
Right.
He was our manager, and he had the sound system. We had all the best records.
Okay.
So we were the competing brothers to the Chosen Few.
Oh, really?
We were the ones that really started the whole new wave, punk kind of
out.
thing, because I was punk.
Okay.
I was punk more, and not house.
Right. Now, Chosen Few, were they punk too? And
No. The Chosen Few are known for the loft.
Okay.
And if you understand the history of let's just say intimate parties,
Right.
David Macuso's Love Save the Day was a
Right.
loft party.
Okay.
Loft parties became synonymous with live parties.
Gotcha.
In loft parties, anything goes.
Yeah.
Best music, the best spaces that you would never, like some
Yeah.
industrial space that you've never been.
Yeah.
And like it's really laid out nice, and they decorate it so, and you meet interesting people, artists. You might meet a political. It's like
Right.
so that's underground.
So everybody was there.
But
Yeah.
and everybody was there for one reason. The music.
Yeah.
Underground.
Okay.
And back then, it was the name of the promoter.
Okay.
Now, it had to do with the DJ.
Nothing to have to do with the DJs. It's all about the promoter.
The promoter. If the name of the promoter, Sam Chapman. Oh yeah. Kurt Townsend. Oh. Now you put all these guys together. Kurt Townsend, Marvin Terry,
Yeah.
Terrible Ted, Sam Chapman, Al McCormick. They did the McCormick place.
And it was coming.
Aqua Boogie.
Yeah.
Sold it out
Yeah.
back in the 70s.
Wow. Okay.
Now, let me tell you something else.
So okay, stop right there. So
Yeah.
the promoters were doing this. Who was some of the main DJs at these parties?
I don't even care.
Really?
Sam Chapman DJ'd most of these.
Right.
They all DJ'd,
Okay.
but they promoted. See, that's the thing. They understood how to promote an event,
Right.
which being the producer,
Right.
and at the same time, they DJ.
Okay.
Kurt Townsend DJ,
Right.
Al McCormick DJ, Sam Chapman DJ, Terrible Ted DJ. Marvin Terry didn't.
Right.
But Marvin Terry was a guerrilla marketer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, but he had Lake Point Towers on lockdown for prom every year.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And these are the guys that influenced me.
Okay. So what was your breakthrough party and what year was that, Dave?
Okay, my breakthrough party that would put me on the map from that point, that was like placing the flag on top of Mount Everest.
Right.
Was the Battle of the DJs at Sowers.
That's ours. Okay.
That's the battle that Steve won.
Okay.
We had basically wall to wall, standing on top of the tables that is packed in the back. We had to lock the doors down. My mom collected the money,
Right.
And I had somebody do the mailing list, and my dad did security. We couldn't let nobody else in. We had over 2,000 people.
Wow. Now, who was the DJs at that time?
That was the Battle of the DJs.
Right. Now, who was all in it for
Farley was a judge.
Okay.
Hudson Boudoir was a judge. It was Andre, Steve,
Andre Hatchett, Steve Irwin.
And I can't remember, but Steve won.
Okay.
And what Steve did, Steve played the song, it's like a workout song.
Okay.
Class, everybody get ready.
Right.
On one.
Okay.
On two. Yeah, I might paraphrasing, but ask Steve.
Yeah.
But that's what he started off with. And then he came in with Mr. F.
Right.
I mean, I'm just paraphrasing because that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I had the tape, but somebody stole it from me in Hawaii.
Wow.
We recorded because back then we had the boom box.
Yeah.
And we record, and that's how we recorded a live party, right?
Right.
And Frenchie did my sound.
Okay.
And I had double bass.
Yeah, you
scoops.
said it was like 8 feet tall, huh?
8 feet tall.
Wow.
You could put your whole body in there
Get out of here.
with the horns.
See? There you go.
And you hit you.
So your parties at Sours, man, and other locations help set the tone for Stray Kids interpreting some of the gay culture and myth of the warehouse.
Oh, time out. Wait, whoa.
Okay,
wait,
okay.
Cut,
All right.
cut.
Okay.
Let's get, hey, hold on. If you're standing up, you might want to sit down.
Okay.
Because I'm going to lay the facts. Let's just get it. I'm laying the facts. I got receipts.
Yes, sir. Please do. Go ahead.
I'm going to paint the pretty picture of what it was back in 1975.
Okay.
The warehouse didn't come on until like 70-something.
Okay.
Back in the 70s, you're not going to anything that's gay if you're a straight man.
Okay.
Majority of those places were gay, black, or Latino men
Okay.
back in the day. We stayed separated. You might have a gay cousin. You're not hanging out with him. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
It's not homophobia. It's just that
He wasn't doing it at the time.
we're not doing that.
Right.
I grew up on Good Times, All in the Family,
Right.
the Jeffersons,
Right.
and Chico and the Men. That's my foundation.
Chico and the Men.
Gunsmoke.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
We talking about real men. Ain't no toxic shit.
Right.
It's just real men.
Yeah.
Okay? The Rifleman.
Right.
With him and his son.
There you
Okay?
go.
The Lone Ranger. Even with Tonto, Tonto ain't even Indian. He's from India or some shit like that.
Right.
I'm just joking.
Right.
But, yeah, so let me tell you, and I always say this. I only went to the warehouse probably on 3 occasions.
Okay.
And I went with a group.
Right.
I went down, it was me, Farley, and Steve.
Okay.
We went down there and parked and set about across the street.
Okay.
Because, first of all, it's a gay party. We like girls.
Right.
What the fuck are we going in there for?
Yeah.
Okay, we've heard Frankie, and Frankie was okay. He wasn't. He got better.
Okay.
But the ambience that they brought, and I will have to say this, it's the New York flavor
Yeah.
all day long.
Yeah.
Robert's from New York.
Right.
Frankie's from New York. So what they did, they took what Wayne and them did, which was the loft. Now, I don't know who the first person that did a loft party in Chicago.
Okay.
But I will say this, in terms of the chosen few
Yeah.
and the loft, I heard about it down when I was at WIU. I think it was 1979, 80. When I came to the loft for the first time, because my guy, Michael Benson, I grew up. He
Right.
grew up right on 80th and Merrill. I lived on 79th and Merrill.
Okay.
We were rooming. Right down the street was the singer with the Shy Lights. We all in that area. So it's
Right.
all this talent. And I remember Michael said, "Man, you got to go to this party called The Law. I mean, it's these DJs called Chosen Few. It's called The Law." He said, "Man, they're in there. 2 girls could be dancing with a guy." Or girl take off her top and titties are showing and nobody's disrespecting her and
Right.
and jacking and,
Right.
and I'm like what
Right.
okay, wait a minute, you're kidding, right? No, man, and the music is off the chain. So I mean, what kind of music? It's like it's underground. It's like it's disco stuff that we heard maybe on Disco DAI,
Right.
and stuff that you might have heard on LS or
Yeah.
VON, right?
Yeah.
And so my first time went in there, I had to keep my jaw. I had to hold my jaw with my palms. Cause
Right. It was
I mean,
wide
all
open.
like everything he said was actually happening, and I'm stunned. I'm like, she has her titties showing.
Right. Now, what year was this?
I'm sorry, breasts.
Okay, right.
This is
No,
19.
you can say whatever you want to. On
Yeah,
it.
1979, 1980.
Okay,
somewhere
okay.
around. I think. Yeah, when I met Wayne, but I met Kurt first.
Okay.
And that was in like 1975. So I knew Kurt and Batman
Right.
before I knew Wayne.
Okay.
Because I was Mendo.
Yeah.
Mendo was
Was no joke.
Look, I'm setting the record straight. You better come with receipts because I got receipts.
Okay.
Kurt Townsend, hands down,
Right.
is the reason why House is today.
Okay.
Nobody duplicated what Kurt did. 2,500 teenagers twice a week, Friday and Saturday, for, I don't know, 10, from 1974, I believe they started, to, I believe, 1989.
Wow.
And
Kurt
within that
Townsend.
time, I know in the times I was going, and my mom used to drop me off.
Yeah.
And mom's, it would be over at midnight. The parents would be there to pick up their children. Never an incident, ever. 2 floors of teenagers.
Right.
We wearing school jackets, pride at our schools. And when I got a chance to meet Kurt, and I think because I played football for Carver, and I'm in the Hall of Fame, so I was pretty, known football player. I just got to say that.
Go ahead and say that,
I gotta
Dave.
say it. I'm in the Hall of Fame. You go out to Carver High School right now,
Right.
you see the Hall of Fame. I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Got presented at Gately in 2010 at the homecoming with Coach Jackson. Y'all know Coach Jackson. His son works at the Family Den. Okay, he's a more.
All right.
Anyway, so
let me ask you: did you ever consider DJing at your parties?
well, really, this is how it all started. Down in Western Illinois, I was the DJ.
Okay.
Before there was any mixes, we take the record off, drop it.
Just drop it.
So I would be the one. We started out. Risqué originated down at WIU with an offshoot group called Gucci, which I created, called Gentlemen's Unification of Conceptual Individuals. So we were like the...
And that was Gucci Productions.
Right. Now, I came back home, and I brought it, and I was promoting it at Sowers, and it continued. And so I was DJing down there, because what we did, we were good with all the frats. We did all the after parties.
Okay.
We charged $2. You get Gucci Punch and a joint.
Right.
Okay? I would DJ, and my other brother named Rod would back up. So that time, the kind of music we're playing, this is 1979, 1980.
Right.
It's funk. It's like Silvers.
Yeah.
That funk dance kind of Soul Train stuff.
Sir.
And so, we got a chance to play a lot of slow jams. Like a lot of people don't know Man-Child.
Right.
Babyface was in that group, Man-Child, which is out of Chicago.
Wow.
And that's a classic song.
Okay.
So a lot of slow jams got played
at
back
parties.
Mandrill, stuff like that, a lot of jazz fusion. So anyway, with that being said, that's kind of where, I will say this. I have to say this. Because I went to Carver High School.
Okay.
And because I was, it's kind of interesting that the stepping part of house, which in a way was like Chicago State was really big,
right?
And I used to go to Hummingbird. I used to go to Sheba. I used to go to the Dungeon. I would go with a stepper because I went to Carver. So out there was GDs. So you had the players, and so I respected that culture because they were going to school, and they were making their money, and they were just the suave, right? Yeah. So when I would see them step, it was this one dude, man, I can't remember his name, but he was known. This motherfucker was so cold.
Right.
And so I used to check out steppers and how they would move. But and from Fred Astaire, Sammy Davis Jr., Gene Kelly, I looked at those on TV. But when I saw the steppers and the kind of swag and the fine women that they had, and the way they movements, I incorporated that in my movements in terms of my DNA. Yeah. But what really started was Jackie Wilson.
Okay.
Like when, in the movie where Eddie Murphy his mother tells him to do a joke, and he's little.
Yeah.
My mother say, David, show you that dance, show that dance. So I imitated Jackie Wilson's dance,
And do the
so I do
dance,
that, and
right.
everybody be like, oh, David. And so from that point on, and my mother bought me a Tony the Tiger drum set. That was my first drum set.
Right.
At 5 years old, and my mother put all this together. So it was a big party. I had relatives. It was just, and so from that point on, and I say it in the song, that I could put a smile on a person's face.
Yeah.
And then for a long time, Mo, I was trying to figure out who was I. Like, okay, I'm this guy on stage. I'm the Indian, but what's that mean? Like,
Right.
okay, how can we package this? How can we really make this plausible where we can take it, like you can buy a sculpture of me, and I could say that I put all my energy, and you can buy it for $5,000 and put in your house, and would bring all your dreams come true.
Right.
And I'm not kidding.
So at that time, were you wearing your Native American headdress at the time?
No, back in
Okay.
the honestly tell you, I've known about my heritage, but there was no way to communicate. Nobody was talking about it. I didn't know anything about slavery until Roots. Nobody talked about slavery in my family. They always talked about the Indians. They talked about the Choctaw. And my grandmother, her middle names are
Right.
all her great-grandparents.
Okay.
Melinda, and they're 4 names. Her grandmother, her great-grandmother, her
Right.
great-grandmother.
Right.
So they carried the names within the name of the middle one. My name, I got a middle name.
Okay.
Christopher's one of them.
Right.
My mom knew what she was doing. She read the Book of Psalms. That was her favorite book. So David became that.
Okay.
And then Christopher, I never really asked her about Christopher, but she was a Christian. So
Yeah.
I figured she just wanted to add that in there.
Okay.
And then, for a long time I kept Walker separate from Risqué because it's like, Alan's a lawyer by day and DJ by night.
Yeah.
I was a truck driver by day and a performer at night.
Right.
So I just didn't want to mix.
Yeah.
Nobody knew as it.
But you said we were talking before. You said you get like the inspiration from the Native American guy in the Village People.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I saw the Village People, I saw men. I didn't see gay men.
Right.
I saw different aspects of men, and the one guy had the short,
Right.
But what stood out for me was the Indian,
Okay.
and he didn't represent any kind of gayness. He represented culture, and that reminded me. I said, "Wait a minute, I'm Aboriginal," and so I said, when Mr. Ali came along, we decided we're going to every persona. Jerry's going to be like the Dean Martin because he likes to drink wine.
Right.
Vic was going to be, I forgot, Vic the Cubano because he's
Right.
Cubano.
Smoke cigars.
And I was going to be the club kid because I came from New York, so
Right.
that was the other thing. I said, what would leave a signature mark in people's head?
Okay. There you go. Yeah.
But then I find out I'm Belizean.
Okay.
I'm Mayan at
Yeah.
54 years old.
Right.
So I was already expressing my ancestry and not even knowing it.
Yeah. I mean, and it works, man, because that whole culture and dress and vibe is prominent within the house culture with Dave Risqué, and we see you on stage, and we see that. So we're going to go to, did the Hot Mix 5 play a part of your promotion, and was that a factor and influence in your crowd?
That's a great question, Maurice. Me and Farley go way back, and Farley is pivotal before it was house.
Right.
We're talking about that early 80s radio, 82.
Right.
I was in the chord, and they had the Hot Mix 5.
Yes.
So Farley was really playing, he took off from what Disco DAI was doing.
Right.
And that crew together was phenomenal.
Okay.
And Saturday Night Live, Ain't No Jive, House Party was phenomenal. Now, check this out. I was a guerrilla marketer, too.
Okay.
I don't play by the rules.
Okay.
Because, it's a competitive market, so you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
So one day, I think I did I took the Hot Mix 5 and I put on a flyer, some shit, promoting it, and I got a call from Farley.
Okay.
And what was the DJ at the time that brought BMX?
Kenny Jason?
No.
Oh, Armando.
No, the brother that was on there. Oh shit, that was on BMX at the time.
Was it Marv Dyson? I think.
Cooper.
It was somebody like I know what you're saying.
Well, they called me up, Farley and him from the station. They say, "Dave, man, you can't put the Hot Mix 5 on your flyer without asking permission." I said, "Well, I thought I'm sorry, but I had already put the shit out, right?"
Right.
So anyway, that was my first kind of bad boy. I was kind of.
But how did that party go, though?
Oh, it was great.
Okay. So let me ask you, Dave, and I ask everybody this: where do you remember first hearing the term house, and how do you think it came about? The term house music.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't here. I was in Hawaii.
Okay.
The first song that I saw that had anything to do with house without me knowing house, because I can't even remember. I think this was in Tower Records, downtown Waikiki. I'm not sure if they had a crate section that said house music.
Okay.
They might have, but the first song record I came across was Jam Silk, Jack Your Body, Music is the Key by Steve Silk. I said, what?
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute.
You know Steve,
this
right.
is 1984, 83, 84.
Right.
Somewhere around there. Because a lot of times, we would get music before the States would.
Right.
Even Japan. Because even Japan, I got Sade before she came out in the States.
Right.
Because I was in Tokyo in 1983, 84.
Right.
I did 2 tours.
And what branch were you in?
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. There you go.
Yeah. And so, the word house, I was kind of embarrassed I won't say embarrassed, but I think the first time I heard it was, I think I was in Hawaii, and I would come home and leave. I had 30-day leave, so I was kind of connected, but then I'd be gone back to Hawaii.
Right.
Right. But for me, I've always said, like I said before, house parties started with my family.
Right.
In the house. I did house parties in the basement. The red light.
Okay.
The index cards, the who, the when, the where. So for me, it was always house. It was always house.
Right. Okay. No, that's great. Lead me to this next question. Right. Are you a house head, and what's the difference?
No, don't ever call me a house head. That's almost like call me the N-word.
Wow. Really?
Look at my logo. It's in my heart. Groove is in the heart.
So what's the difference, Dave?
The difference is you could be a head, but your head could be food. Your heart is your soul. Blood, sweat, and tears I done put in. This ain't no game to me.
Right.
I done everything from putting up posters by myself on the west side, downtown, southwest side, by myself. Nobody helped me.
Right.
Jimmy Kimbrough did. I had a team at one time.
Right.
But the job had to get done because it was my name.
Right.
And another person that I want to interview, and if he's still alive, Antonio Wade. Antonio Wade is one of the premier graphic designers before there was computers. We talking about cut and paste.
Right.
He made the shit like it was computers.
Right.
And I got flyers to prove it.
Okay.
Now, he lived in Hyde Park, right off of Lake Park, in that Kenwood area. Now, I don't know where Tony's been, because like Craig Rex Perry was another brother that was incredible. If Craig Rex Perry did a party, you're going to it. Now, Craig Rex Perry, God rest his soul, he lost his life, I believe, right before COVID. Another Sterling Capriccio.
Right.
My brother out in Vegas with Rory, Kevin McCormick.
Right.
These are guys that were doing promotion that were underground.
Right.
And so they, Kevin did hair and Sterling did fashion. So that's where the whole fashion kind of thing, because GQ was big.
Yeah.
So
it was a fashion to the culture as well.
Yeah, because I'll put it like this. Chicago, like Tony Shelton was a punk disco. She was punk. I was a punk disco. Cherie Wallace, who's a veterinarian.
Right.
So there was a punk crowd.
Right.
Within, you had the prep boy. So you had these cliques, but it all came together because, like, Sours was the shit.
Right.
Even after I left, people continued to do things there. So, but I was the one that started it and got the biggest name out there in terms of, okay, you got to go.
Yeah, no, exactly. So what DJs from that time do you feel that were underrated and didn't get their proper shine?
Really, it was only a handful. I mean, the community wasn't that big. Okay. Sours, and then you had the playground.
Right.
I kind of did not like the fact of the playground because it took the underground a little bit more commercialized because they were hitting all over the city. At the time, the Loft only held that floor used to go down. That might have. You can ask Wayne. It's a big building. The Loft is a really big.
So you think the playground made it too commercialized?
Let's put it this way: Craig and his brother, they really wanted to expand this music. It wasn't called house shit.
Okay.
It was underground, and Craig was great at his promotion, and he had Jesse and Farley.
Okay.
And the place was like 20,000 square feet, upstairs and downstairs.
Now, who was your promoter competition back in the day? Was it Craig or who was Craig?
Playground.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the other reason why I didn't go. I didn't go to the warehouse for a lot of things. I was doing my own thing.
Yeah. When
I split off from Red Sounds of Space, is because I really, my creativity, if it ain't done my way, it's the highway.
Okay.
So I went off and started promoting and left DJing because I figured, like I was telling you, it's more risk, but it's more reward when I can create this whole thing
yourself. Yeah.
And then at the same, I can make the DJ shine. That's what happened. The promoter began to promote the DJ.
Okay.
And so that's how the DJ grew. But at the same time, the DJ was promoting the song, so that's how you had the singers to come out and perform.
Right.
And so it was synergy.
Yeah.
But now it's motherfuckers standing there with a camera looking at the DJ.
Right. Not dancing and anything.
Not even dancing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna outlaw that shit.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you're gonna be fine.
Right.
You're gonna be locked up.
Hey, I heard that. We need that, David.
Seriously. And look, it ain't house no more.
Yeah.
It's estates.
Yeah.
Estates. E-S-T-A-T-E. Estates.
Right.
Let's talk about land.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you remember when Jamie Principle, Your Love, was being played outside the warehouse, and how did that impact the scene?
Jamie, that's interesting because a lot of this music I heard in Hawaii for the first time.
Okay.
Hawaii was very interesting because it was new wave. Matter of fact, they had a club called The Wave, and they played new wave music. So Hawaii, I grew up, I'm 21, 22, so I'm growing up on all the 80s rock music.
Right, right.
The new wave, the British Invasion, what's that song? The Cockatoos, the Flamingo, all those groups that were coming from Europe.
Right.
And Madonna was big.
Right.
And Michael and Prince.
Right.
And Sade. So it was a really interesting time. And then you had the funk area. You had your Alexander O'Neill. Mm-hmm. So I was over there at that time, and house music, because I was a DJ named Sadie from Philly that I befriended. He was in the Air Force, and so I started doing events.
Right.
And there were clubs that they were playing house music, but at the same time they were playing New York club.
Right.
If you know what New York club is,
yeah.
All that, I call it Porter rock music.
Right.
But that New York club sound, which I love, like mon phone bay.
Yeah, mon phone bay.
Yeah, that man. Ooh.
Yeah.
See, I was in New York, dude. Right when the garage closed.
Yeah. And so that was like 87, 88,
yes.
89, right? Okay.
Oh, it was pure still.
Did you come back to Chicago? What year did you come back to Chicago?
I came back 91.
91.
In 91, I said, okay, I got the south side on lock. I got to take the north side.
Okay.
That's when I did 3 flights up. That's on Michigan Avenue. It was right down the street from Cotton Club.
Okay.
A brother named Garland. He had a loft. It was 3 flights up, right? So I promoted this event. I got Lil Jon and Freddie Bang, because they were down. They had a record store on State Street on Michigan Avenue.
Right.
So I had ran into Lil Jon, and Lil Jon knew me from back in the day. Because I was known back then, and I didn't really know that I was known.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why I left and went to the Marine Corps. Like, I wanted to get away.
Right.
Because it was getting to a point where I go to the north side, and chicks see me, and I had a brother named Al. They think I'm Al, and when they see Al, they think that's gay.
Right.
So it got to a point, and I came back from college, and me and my mom was butting heads. I'm living in the crib, and I wanted to be a DJ. Like, a DJ?
Right. After all of this?
You was going to be a doctor. You're going to be a DJ.
Right.
No, Negro. No, she didn't call me that. She said, So my mom wasn't feeling it. I'd be coming home, 4 o'clock in the morning after DJing. I'm in the Wild Hundreds, right? So I'm on the bus. I'm coming through Roseland, Michigan Avenue, Wild Hundreds. It wasn't safe.
Yeah.
But I'm out there, got my crate of records.
Right.
And then I got to driving, so I had my car. And then, like I said, Vincent Sparks, and we were getting digs. We did first impressions. What we did was special.
Okay.
We would be tag teaming.
Right.
We were doing. Rory play, we play, and we had like a show.
Okay.
And so that's what made us really stand out with the Chosen Few, and that's all I know. I didn't know any other DJs. It was Wayne, Allen, Tony, Andre. I mean, it was just Farley.
So when you went up to the north side, who was your besides yourselves and everything? Who was your go-to DJs that you would try to hire?
Perez. Ben Perez.
Ben Perez.
Ben Perez was one.
Okay.
Because he used to play at the Century. The Coconuts, I'm not sure who the DJ was, but Coconuts was hot. Now, mind you, I'm way out in the hundreds, and I'm way up on 400 North Broadway, driving. AKAs. AKAs. Okay.
Yep.
AKAs was hot, and AKAs was like the young college grad,
right? Just
out of college, getting a new job.
Yeah.
We wearing suits and ties.
Yeah.
I was like the Prince dude.
Okay.
Because Prince was big, and I was in Hawaii, so the whole Purple Rain, wearing the pearls.
Yeah.
That was me.
That's what you.
So I'm still rocking that, and I've been rocking Mohawks forever.
Right. So how does Chicago scene compare with New York scene, particularly like the Shelter, Body and Soul type of parties?
Oh.
How does Chicago do it different? Come on.
The fifth.
Come on. You said you was going to come on here and talk your truth.
Okay. I'm going to have to set the record straight. And this is just the truth.
Okay, come on.
This is my truth.
Let's go.
And I was there. New York for me was a graduate school for dancing.
Okay.
I thought I could dance.
Right.
And I did. I mean, that's what I'm known for. But getting to New York and seeing some of the cats and women and hustle.
Yeah.
Like, one of my brothers was a Dominican brother. He was in the Corps with me. He took me to the Copacabana. Oh, my God. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Oh, my God. You talk about hustling.
Yeah.
You talk about salsa.
Yeah.
My first wife was Puerto Rican, like I said.
Right.
Carmen Edith Pagan. You can't get no more in Puerto Rican than that. All right? So that's what I said. I think, that Latin blood is in me.
Okay.
All right? So, but anyway, I got there, and Frankie was at the World.
Okay.
I got there. I started working at the Dirty World because the world was going downhill.
Right.
But for me, in order to get into the scene in New York, because I'm an outsider,
right.
One of my guys told me, you got to go see this dude named Andrew at the Tunnel.
Okay.
So I went to the Tunnel. I was referred. He said, what you got to do. And at the time, I was working with Steve Hurley. I was with Ecotron. So I was kind of like a record A&R. I had business cards and stuff like that.
Okay.
Never got paid.
Right. That's Steve Hurley. That's for him.
Hey, Steve, we got to do a record, baby. You know this.
Right.
But anyway, no, I was honored and privileged because I wanted to prove that I could make a difference as an outsider coming from Chicago to New York. And Steve's name was the shit.
Okay.
So it got me into a lot of doors. Vinyl Records.
Right.
I got down there, and I showed my card. They're like, "Oh, Steve so early?" Yeah. And so I met Bobby Condas before Bobby Condas became Bobby Condas with Massive Sound.
Yeah.
Because he was dating a girl that knew me from doing parties in Chicago.
Yeah.
She introduced me to him. I thought he was a brother. I'm like, it's a white dude. This motherfucker is cool as hell.
Right.
And me and Bobby
on the house side, he did that "This Is Sky" and all that, so it was blowing up
look,
then. Yeah.
This is how me and Bobby, this is how close we were. I believe Bobby lived in Brooklyn. He invited me over. We breaking bread, mixing, because I was always practicing DJing.
Yeah.
He made me a mixtape. Bobby's my brother from this point. He knows this, and he became the most sought after reggae producer with Massive Sounds.
Yeah.
And that one song that you're saying.
Yeah, "This Is Sky." Yeah. Massive.
So, and Basil.
Yep.
That's the other brother.
Yeah.
Now, these are cats that I knew came to, I had parties. I had house parties in New York. And me and Basil became friends at Nails.
Okay.
And that's why I'm going out there to New York. My friend Sabaj was a doorman at Nails back in the day. And Sabaj was a serious brother. He died of cancer.
Okay.
And he became a professional biker.
Oh, wow.
But he was also a personal trainer. Vin Diesel knew him before Vin Diesel was Vin Diesel.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Like,
Sabaj is the man.
Yeah.
To get into Nails, you got to go through to Sabaj.
Yeah.
And we talk about every hip-hop artist. Matter of fact, I was there, Dougie Fresh's birthday party.
Right.
I got in because my brothers, the twins, they knew Sabaj, and the twins were famous twins from Brooklyn. I think they went to Brooklyn, Texas. They were famous twins.
Right.
And so everybody knew the twins. And they knew Sabaj. Sabaj is older than me, but he was a, man, last of the Mohicans, man. Man's man.
So before we get into that, some more of that, I want you to compare New York.
Okay, so New York
and Chicago.
It's apples and oranges, man. You can't compare.
Tell you truth.
You can't compare. Dancing, y'all ain't seen dancing. What you see of me is a culmination of years
of Chicago
of
and
the
New
last
York.
3 years of me finding myself. And I'm going to tell you who makes your brand. The people do.
Okay.
I was always trying to think of something.
Yeah.
And then I would start, in 2003, right before my grandmother made her transition, and I know she was going downhill.
Okay.
But she wasn't sick. But the Spirit was telling me.
Right.
And I asked the Lord, I said, what is it you want me to do? I was a truck driver at the time. I was like, I can't see my life ending like this.
Right.
But I'm trying to be a father. I'm trying to be the walker, the truck driver.
Right. Right.
And so the voice said, use your voice. Okay. So 6 years later, me and, this is all going to tie in together. Me and Matt McGill at VON, I said, hey, man, I got an idea for a show.
Okay.
I said, Conspiracy Theory Thursdays. He said, why? Because he had just got a VON. So me and my guys, we did Hi-Fi Paradise at the point. And so we agreed to do the show. And so that's when my voice came. So since that time, and over the last 3 years, all the trials and tribulations I've gone through with my marriage, being a father, being homeless, dealing with my basically OCD, PTSD, bipolar, which, mind you, it's not an illness.
Right.
I'm going to change it to make it sound more digestible.
Right.
And that's called, let's put it like this. It's mastering your imagination. or mental wellness. Because a lot of people who have this, they think with both sides of their brain.
Right.
My daughter's a great anime artist.
Right.
My daughter's bipolar. My dad was bipolar.
Right.
So we carried the gene.
Yeah.
We think my daughter's a Pisces. I'm a Scorpio, true and through, 11/11.
Yeah.
My dad was a Capricorn. And so my mom was a Capricorn. My moon is in Capricorn.
Right.
My son is in Leo. So I'm through and through a Scorpio.
Right.
So whatever you women think about a Scorpio, I'm the purest form.
Right. It's wrong show right now, Dave.
Okay,
this is about house music, man. Wrong
okay,
show.
This is about house music.
No, I get you, but
Look,
you was
listen.
going a little too deep for
But
that one right
anyway,
there.
No, New York, hands down, dancing.
Okay. All right.
Period.
No, that's good. That's good.
Period.
I want to ask you this, man, in sincere honesty. What do you feel house music needs right now culturally, and does it have a place in mainstream in its purest form?
Yeah, I'm leading it there.
Okay.
This is culture.
Okay.
This ties us to the land. This music is not African.
Right.
I can prove it to you.
Okay.
I can play songs for you right now from Brazil. None of that is from Africa. Why is it that Fela imitated James Brown?
Okay.
Afro pop is basically American soul music that they took. We ain't take shit from them.
Right.
We're not African, first of all.
Okay.
Now, you could call yourself an African American. How you going to be? You're the only people that are two continents.
Okay.
Not Irish American, because Ireland is a country.
Right.
So you African, you done killed your grandmother, you ain't never been to Africa, you can't even call a relative over there.
So what would you call yourself then?
To be honest, you're Aboriginal.
Okay.
I'm Aboriginal.
Okay.
Ain't no slave in terms of, now we might have owned some slaves, but that was employment. A plantation is where they plant things. But that's a whole nother story. I'm going to educate people on that. Because that's, and let me tell you something about Barack Obama. And this is what I tell you about anything. There's the negative, there's a positive and a negative.
Okay.
It's like eating fish, right? You spit out the bones, you eat the meat. Barack Obama digitized the Library of Congress. So you don't have to go to Washington, D.C. to look at these books.
Okay.
The books are there, scientific forms. When I'm talking about scientific form, we're talking about scientists that weren't prejudiced. Now, some of them, you got to read through the lines, but some of them might say things about, they tell the truth about what they saw here in terms of people, Aboriginals.
Right.
Okay? Anyway, that's why this is important, because it ties us to the land.
Right. And that's what you're saying, that's what...
That's what's going to keep
music.
this going, because now we can write books. Now we can do research, anthropological, okay, sociological.
Right.
We can look into all the different types of tribes are here. It's over 8,000 different tribe names.
Yeah.
But there's different sectors. You got the Algonquin, you got the Cherokee down through the southwest over.
Right.
Then you got the Khalifa on the west coast. You got the Apache, you got the Chippewa, the Potawatomi right here in Illinois.
Right. So you saying that culturally, house music needs to be where?
It needs to come home.
Okay.
The estate.
Right.
Let's stop talking about the house.
Okay.
Let's talk about the land.
Right.
That's the reason why the music. Like, act like you know.
Right.
Okay, act like you know.
Right.
Or relight my fire.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Are you ready?
Right.
Keep on.
Dance and shake your tambourine.
Dance and shake your tambourine.
Right.
I could go on. The titles of these songs are powerful.
Right.
Ass by Stevie Wonder.
Right. Yeah.
I could go on and on.
So let me ask you something that people wants to know too. Chosen Few Picnic, when you say that, they also see Dave Risqué as an image and a face for that too.
You know what? I'm honored and humbled by the brothers, because that organically became what it became.
Okay.
I was the first recipient of the Chosen Few Award.
Okay.
The very first, and that was in 2006.
Right.
Behind the museum. That was the last event that we had on a smaller stage.
Right.
Very small stage, behind the museum. And from that point forward, they just allowed me, and not only that, Wayne is Apache.
Yeah.
And Wayne loved the fact of the headdress. And not only that, I pull my ass off.
Yeah.
I've even gotten better.
Yeah.
Or people, that's what I say, I'm doing a one-man show like that Irish dude, but I got dancers.
Yeah.
But I got a whole show. I wanted to be the first house music disco musical.
Okay. So what's next for Dave Risqué?
My song, the Dave Risqué Experience that you're producing.
Okay. Okay. All right. Absolutely.
That song right there is going to put me on the Gaia, not global, Gaia.
All right.
On the
Mr. Dave
stationary plane
Risqué.
of
Wow.
existence.
Okay.
You're going to take that song to the next level. That's going to put me out there so that I can reach billions of people's souls.
All right. Let's pray
I'm
on
only
that.
doing
Let's
this
do
for
that.
the Lord.
Yes, sir.
Allah.
Yes, sir.
Whatever your God you call,
Right.
you're going to call him.
So what do you want people to know how to reach you and everything, man? So give out all your information right now.
Let me
Dave.
say this. I want to thank everybody out there who's ever come in contact with me. This is a mantra that I share. It's a Samoan mantra because I have Samoan blood. This mantra is very simple. It says, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I guarantee you, if you do this mantra on your back in a quiet space, you put your right hand over your heart, you take your left hand and you put it over your womb. That means your solar plex right under your navel. That's the womb even for a man, because that's where our prostate is. You close your eyes and you repeat that. And you can mix it up as you get better. But if you repeat it over and over again, I guarantee your life will change. Your vibration will rise. And I mean, honestly, you want to see yourself in the future of what you want to become. You can create you, because you are you. It's just an avatar. So whatever you can conceive, you can achieve. Life is abundant. What does it say? What's the first word in the first sentence of the Genesis? Tell me. Think about it.
In the beginning.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, right?
Yes, sir.
So, was the Word first, or was God first? God, idea created himself. So before it was an avatar, and I don't, it's genderless, it's a spirit, but the bottom line is the words. So the words that come out of your mouth dictate your future. So you have to be careful what you put out there, because I am a shaman in training. I am a wizard in training, but I'm a wizard to bring souls to light. And I walk this earth as Malcolm, as Martin. I fear no man, I fear no evil. I've been to the mountaintop in spirit, and my ancestors, my mother's still with me. God.
All right, brother.
That's what gets me through this.
All right, good.
But I tell you, it's because of you guys. My fan, and I'm not saying fans, I'm talking about family. Yesterday, my sister Denise, my Scorpio sister, she came to tears saying, David, don't you ever stop. We need you. And you know the word that came out of people's mouth over the years?
What's that?
It was inspiration, David. You inspire people.
That's absolutely true.
And I guess I want to set the record straight. The day that I put out that SOS,
yes, sir,
it was like the world was collapsing on me. And you got to understand, when I get in front of millions of people, in front of the chosen few, my energy is being taken. And superheroes need to be re-energized. And for a long time, I felt alone, even with all those people.
Right.
Because I couldn't find myself. I was like, who am I? And trust me, these tears of joy, because I stand before you in the grace of God, because of the Lord's prayer got me here. And my ancestors, my grandmother Lily, my grandmother Patsy, my grandfather James, my grandfather James, my great-grandfather Adolphus Fleming from Belgium, aristocrat, a Moor that came here as a free man because he traveled. I don't know anything about slavery, because I ain't African, and I have nothing against Africa, but I love America. This is my land, this is my home, and once you start searching your ancestry and stop killing your grandparents, talk about you African American, because you know what? They're going to ship your ass over there real soon. And what I've been doing, this headdress, has got people to ask questions. And I'm talking about all kinds of people. I have a general manager of a dealership. He's whitest, he's a white guy. He showed me a picture of his grandmother. His grandmother's Potawatomi. His grandmother is darker than me. The picture was done in the 1880s. So get this race shit out of your head. That's a distraction. We so related. I got so many white people coming to me. Yeah, my uncle is Cherokee. I had a lady up. Where'd you get your? Can you give me a headdress? Where'd you get that from? I'm going to my reunion this year. I want to wear it. I'm from Mississippi. I said, oh, you Cherokee? Yeah. Choctaw? The only day I take my headdress off now is on Sunday. It's a day of rest. My car's in the shop, so I've been taking public transportation. It takes me forever because people are talking to me. People want to do selfies. People want to smoke weed with me. People want to ask me questions. And I have no problem doing so because that's my job. That's the voice that God said, use it, and my wisdom. So you see these tears, these are my ancestors' tears of joy for me. And the day that SOS out, I had 3 friends die within 3 days of each other. One's a Army Melvin Moore from New York. I knew that brother, talked to him on Facebook. I find out he died on Facebook. Sabaj, the gentleman I was talking about, professional biker. He was a doorman at Nails. Died of cancer. My other friend from New York, I forget his name right now. But the bottom line is he was fighting cancer. But from what I was told, he committed suicide because he had a fight with his girlfriend. That all happened within the same day. Then on Thanksgiving, I'm supposed to be going. Well, I didn't have nowhere to go. I have no family. My family's gone. I'm by myself, but that's okay because I'm okay with myself. I love myself now. I had to take my kitten, a Mancoon, to the veterinarian. On Thanksgiving, I'm there for 8 hours. They're telling me, Mr. Walker, Ninja, his name. We have, surgery's going to be like $2,500. But even with the surgery, we don't think he's going to survive. That's my only family I have. He came to me on the day I went to church. I went to go see my brother Al. This cat came out of a portal because he had never seen this kid, and it was a Mancoon. A Mancoon is a very expensive guy, one of the largest cats there. He was a kitten. Now, he came out, he came to me, he went around me, he went under my car. My brother Al, man, he said, that's your cat. And I've been wanting a Mancoon. He was black, and he's a male. My brother had litter, cat food, and a cage, like it was all meant to be. And that day I went to church, and I came there to tell him, because I went to 83rd and Jeffrey at the Calvary Baptist Church to visit, and I was so moved by the reverend. You know those times when you go to church and the sermon, it seems like it's directed right at you?
Right, directly to you, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm back there bawling. I got my sunglasses. Yeah. And I'm like, wow. And let me tell you something. I grew up in the church. And one thing, I don't have anything bad to say about it, because what I like about it is the camaraderie of the energy and the songs and the feel good. You feel like, man, I feel like busted loose. You know, when you get out, you like, it's a motivation. So that's in my DNA. My grandmother was a minister. So this is all tying in together. So with all that being said,
all this wisdom I have, all of what I've shared from promoting, from running, from managing, from performing, singer, songwriter, I can go on and on, DJing. There's not a DJ in Chicago that I have never promoted. I had Jesse De La Pena back in the day, Derek Carter. I've had almost every DJ. I had Mark Grant at Kaboom, had them build out a DJ booth for him.
Right.
Lil Jon. So what happened that got me back into the groove in Chicago was my first 3 Flights Up.
Right.
It was massively successful.
There you go. That's
and
what we're talking about.
Mark Reed from Kaboom, the music director, showed up.
Right.
He said, wow, how would you like a night at Kaboom? I got a Wednesday.
I forgot about that.
I said, okay. I was in the first room, which was cool, but then they gave me the cabaret room on Thursday. The cabaret room had the screen.
Right.
It had the almost 360 back high chairs. I did my birthday party there. I still have it on video. It was off the chain, and my crowd was diverse. And they loved it. It was on Thursday night, so I was doing every Thursday. And Mark Grant, that's when Mark Grant was set in stone because they built a DJ booth from under the stairs. It was concrete.
Yeah.
S-marked that.
Right. Well, brother, that's why I want people to know your story, know some of your history. They see
how they can reach me.
Yeah, and they see you on stage. So I just wanted the people to get to know Dave Risqué. And I appreciate you doing this, man.
All right, man. I appreciate
I love
having
you, brother.
Me, man.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you being here.
And hey, look,
yeah.
we go back to Vibe.
Absolutely.
And that was a hot record label.
Yeah.
I had that carrying case for the longest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I prayed to I had even a T-shirt. And my wife, Deborah, was, oh, my God.
So we got history, and I just wanted people to know your history, Dave. And again, they can find you on Facebook.
You can find me on Facebook on David Risqué, the David Risqué Experience. You can find me, my conspiracy is, or I like to call the Universal Forensic Observation. That's David Researche Risqué. You can Google me, just David Risqué.
There you go.
My records will come up. Say It Loud, I'm House with the Proud.
And we got something special, so we're not going to tell them yet.
We're not going to tell them.
We're going to hold some up. But just look out for it. Again, Dave, I want to thank you so much for this, man.
Maurice,
thank you for being on this, brother. Love you, man.
Love you, man.
All right?
I appreciate it. Love you. I'm humbled by this.
Yes, sir.
And because of you fans, I'm here to stay until you don't want me to be here anymore. But based on everything that people have shown me love, I truly know that I'm loved. And I got a lot of love to give. And trust me, the next time you see me on stage, I'm going to knock your clothes off.
All right. All right, brother. Peace, man.